Morning guys, Friday the 25th of September. Oh, it's the first morning in a while that feels like biting cold. I actually thought, oh, maybe I needed my gloves, which I haven't worn in a long time. Anyway, I haven't got them with me because I wasn't thinking I'd need my gloves. But yeah, it's really noticeably colder. Oh. I was noticing on the news and in various, Facebook posts and so forth, that there was reference to some people beginning to stockpile, like they did, at the very beginning of the pandemic. So, the whole, where did all the toilet roll go, and beans and tomatoes and all that stuff, and it's just like really interesting because, as they said previously, it's like, why are you doing that? Because actually there is enough for everyone. It's like if you carried on like we've been for the last however many months, if once the stock's there you carry on shopping in the same way, you'll get the same stuff. There'll be plenty for everyone. But what happens is so many people just go and panic and accrue all this stuff, and then it completely creates a backlog for trying to be able to then keep the process moving smoothly. And it's interesting, that whole thing of when people get into a place of fear, panic, worry, feel they need to stockpile, they need to accrue as much as possible to make themselves feel safer and get through. But at the end of the day, it doesn't. It's a very much a coming from a scarce place. That's what strikes me. Scarcity, sort of fear, trying to get as much as you can without really too much consideration or thought for others. So also the mentality becomes quite protective, quite self centered in that respect. And I sort of, it's an interesting one, because I understand when people go into some mode of survival, they feel they need to do that. But part of that survival mode in this situation with humans is that it generally comes from, creating a scarce mindset, a scarce thought process. The thinking of what's going to happen, of what you're going to need, what you won't have, what you'll be left without with, creates all sorts of other feelings, which in turn motivates people to go rushing off to stockpile. I was thinking about that notion of coming from a place of, I suppose, scarcity, but not only that, also, not thinking, I've got to have more than you. A protective place, yeah. And I was on a call yesterday. It was a networking Zoom call, and yeah, met some really lovely people. A couple I've already met before, but connecting, in a really lovely way with a number of women who are all in, similar ways and different ways, trying to get on, run their own businesses, their own work. But they're also, I think we had a lot in common in terms of wanting to help others and also being quite grounded, quite what I call quite sort of real as well in many ways. But what also struck me was there was there was one other person who was on the call and shared that they were a coach and that they also attracted particularly people who either were struggling in their relationships or maybe had got past hurt from the relationships and so forth. So they were sharing some of the work they did there, linking it with their hypnotherapy and so forth. And the reason I'm saying that is because I've noticed before in the business world that some people tend to go into a state of being which is, I've got competition, or they do something very similar to me, or therefore, we're gonna clash, or that's not just clash, but obviously the scarcity mentality of there won't be enough work because we're both in the similar game, so to speak. But actually, that isn't a helpful way of seeing things, really, because what I found is that when you start to connect with the other person, for example, and explore what they really do and some of the other skill sets and so forth they may have, often, if you think about it in a more collaborative way, there may be some differences in the way you can also potentially refer to each other, or certainly support in that way. And that way of being is much more supportive and helpful for everyone concerned, and it doesn't then create this sense of somebody feeling like they're coming from a more defensive place or having to protect themselves or justify stuff. Something coming from a place of generosity, of collaboration, of considering how you may be able to support a person in business, even from the face of it. You know that some people might, say you're in some level of competition, but ultimately everybody has their own uniqueness, and we all attract for various reasons. We're attracted to us. So, there's so much opportunity and potential. I mean, you think about how many people are in the world and on the earth, it's not exactly a scarce place, so to speak. So yeah, I just think to know your, it's the other thing I suppose, know your worth, your value as well. Be firm and strong and true to what you're saying is, right for you, what you do, who you are. Rather than focusing on another, come on Will, another person or another organisation that, on the face of it may do something similar, or you may feel there's some elements of competition, because only by standing in your own power and being firm and confident in who you are and what you're about, are you more likely to shine and to attract people to who you are in your work and your business, because they'll connect with that. Comes back to that, coming from a place of opportunity, possibility, being creative about how you see things, being proactive rather than reactive, because then you're more likely to come from a place of connection and collaboration, rather than a place of scarcity and competition. Unless you're trying to collect as many conkers as you possibly can, then I'd say I'd be up for a bit of healthy competition. Yeah, I love collecting conkers. It's definitely just the right time now, and the wind's got up, so I know there was a few that were already down beginning of this week, but yeah, I think this is a good day or two to go looking for conkers. So on that note, guys, have a fruity, funky, fruitful Friday, and I shall speak to you later, guys. Take care, bye.